Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today, this Thursday, June 5th. Now, today, we're going to be talking about a plethora of women getting arrested for cannabis smuggling. Updates on Thailand's retirement visa, as well as the impact of student visa changes for Thais in America. And a little later, the reversal of Vietnam's two-child policy in the face of a declining birth rate. I didn't even know they had that. Now they don't anymore. Now, before we begin, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. That would be, you see them in the corner over here, that would be Favoured, Thailand's largest real estate portal. They have all the tools you need if you're looking to buy, to sell, to rent, whatever it is that you're doing in the real estate market. Favoured has the tools and resources to get you started on your hunt to reach your goals. I want to give them a shout out because I am about to be in the hunt as well, and I'm going to need all the tools that I want. So hopefully these shout outs give me some extra special preferential treatment, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you, Favoured, for hosting the show or sponsoring the show. All right, let's dive into our first story of the day. This is going to be story number one of let's guess how many. But yeah, a British mum. Gotta do this. Should I do this with a British accent? A British mum has been busted at a German airport over Thai cannabis smuggling. That's right, a 21-year-old British mother, Cameron Bradford, was arrested at Munich airport on April 21st after allegedly attempting to smuggle cannabis from Thailand into Germany. Another place where cannabis is ostensibly legal. Good God. She had changed her return flight from Singapore Heathrow to one via Germany, prompting suspicion from authorities. Bradford was detained while retrieving her luggage and remains in custody pending investigation. Her family initially reported her missing when she failed to return to the UK. Despite Germany legalizing cannabis for residents in 2024, tourists like Bradford are still prohibited from importing it. She could face at least 4 months in jail, with formal charges yet to be filed. So I guess it's one of those situations where it's good she got caught in Germany and not a place like Singapore where, you know, the death penalty is on the table. So this is interesting. I think it's funny that she was declared missing, right? Like her family didn't know what she was doing. I assume in a country like Germany, she has some civil rights where she would have been able to make some contact. Look, she was young, 21 years old, a mother. I don't know. Are people still becoming parents at 21 years old? That's pretty crazy to me. This girl does not seem like she's making a whole lot of good decisions with her life. Hopefully this is a wake-up call to get her out of her smuggling ways and her bad decision-making. She was very beautiful. We'll give her that. So hopefully there's a future for her when she gets out of prison in Germany and has learned her lesson. All right, Bishop Knight. She thought she was too cute to get caught. Yeah. Some blondes very rarely face consequences in this world, especially pretty ones. Usually they can skate by on some looks. Not the case. In Germany they got plenty enough cute blondes, so maybe that had something to do with it. All right, on to our next story. Guess what? We're not done with smugglers. This time, let's spin the wheel. We are now going to India. 3 Indian women were caught smuggling hydro weed from Bangkok to Mumbai. That's right, 3 Indian women were arrested at Mumbai airport on June 4th for smuggling nearly 9 kilograms of high-grade hydroponic cannabis from Bangkok, valued at about 85 million rupees, or about 32.4 million baht. The women, aged 19 to 44, were promised free trips to Thailand in exchange for transporting the drugs. Acting on a tip-off, customs officers caught them after they appeared nervous at the terminal. One suspect had contact with a Brazilian woman, hinting at a larger trafficking network. I would say so. All 3 are now charged under India's NDPS Act, and investigations into the international smuggling ring are ongoing. So yeah, this has been the main way that a lot of people have been getting tricked into it is, all right, we'll give you a free trip to Thailand. Who doesn't want that? Baby, going to Thailand. That is the issue. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So a lot of the time they say, hey, all you have to do, you're a courier. You can't look in the bag. But you just need to take this bag on a plane, get over there, and everything's paid for. Your hotel, your flights, everything. Yeah, that's why they tell you at the airport. what has been packed in this bag? Do you know? Are you aware? So in order to do this scam, you have to lie at the gate and say, oh yeah, I know what's in there. No, we're good. And that's a lie. You didn't pack it yourself. You can't feign ignorance once you already know that. So even if you don't know what specific illegal thing you're carrying, if you don't know what's in the bag, that's the assumption you should be making. So, yeah, Mumbai, India, smuggling will be taken a little bit more seriously. And these poor women, 19 years old, the youngest smuggler, that's, going to put a damper on her future. So, anyways, you have been warned. Now, if you thought we were done with smuggling stories, guess again. I saved the best for last, guys. We're going back to England, baby. We got, English person caught in another location. A British OnlyFans mother was caught in Spain with about 200,000 British pounds worth of cannabis. Best for last, British OnlyFans model and mother of 4. Oof, this woman's busy. Clara Wilson was arrested at Barcelona's El Prat airport on January 20th after Spanish authorities discovered over 200,000 pounds, or about 8.82 million baht worth of cannabis, 34 kilograms, and 60 vacuum-packed bundles in her luggage. The 36-year-old had traveled from Asia via Bangkok, India, and Doha. Police believe she intended to sell the drugs on the black market. Now held in a women's prison near Barcelona, Wilson faces up to 4 years in prison and a potential 750,000 baht fine. A trial date has yet to be set, but she could be held without bail for up to 2 years under Spanish law. What is with these mothers? Crime moms, thinking they're beautiful, they can get away with it, I guess. Obviously, I assumed that the OnlyFans wasn't going very well if she needed to resort to drug smuggling to get the money. But I don't know. Anyways, again, smuggling it into a place like Spain, which already has a legal market, not the brightest. They are sending these it's like almost all Brits too. Tons of British people falling for the scam. I think this might have something to do with the British culture, right? Like, lots of British people, I've partied with British people. Drugs are a big part of the culture over there, and there's not a real strong sense of consequences for it. The problem is they go traveling internationally, and there are serious consequences, particularly in these places where they're getting caught. She smuggled it through like the Middle East. That was very lucky she didn't get caught until all the way in Spain. But with 36 kilograms, like, how are you even hiding it in your luggage? It's got to be taking up the majority of your weight allowance. So, anyways, and that'll do it for our smuggling. This time it's one of my fellow countrymen, an American man. An American man was arrested in Pattaya for attempting to exchange fake U.S. dollars. A counterfeiter this time. A 66-year-old American man named Mr. Stookie, what a name, was arrested in Pattaya on June 3rd for attempting to exchange counterfeit U.S. dollars at a currency booth on Jomtien Beach Road. He was found with 21 fake $100 bills marked for motion picture use only. Not fooling anybody there. Staff detected the fakes and alerted police when he insisted on the transaction. Bro, like, once you're ahead, like, once you're caught, just let it go. Mr. Stookie, who lives in Pattaya and is married to a Thai woman, now faces charges for possession and attempted use of counterfeit currency. He remains in custody, awaiting legal proceedings. I've seen these. I've seen these dollar bills. They actually say, like, yeah, not real. Like, as soon as, like, you take them to a currency exchange of all places where they're going to actually, like, you know, run them through the counterfeit checker and stuff like that. We're not sending our brightest, are we? Apparently. Sorry, I apologize on behalf of the Americans this time. To double down and say, what? No, it's real. Maybe it was an honest mistake. Maybe he got duped. That kind of sucks. But once you catch the bad news, and again, like, one is kind of like, all right, maybe you got fooled. Having 21 of them, that's a bit wild to me. So, anyways, good luck to this guy getting through the Thai legal system. I'm curious what the punishment is and if this kind of thing happens often. But it seems like the first time I've talked about it here on the Thaiger. Try to follow up on that. Let you know what the consequences are in the end. All right, we're going to finish up the Thaiger section of the news with some visa stuff. So, of course, everybody's been talking about the changes to student visas in America. How is that going to affect Thai applicants. Well, apparently the U.S. visa student chaos has been avoided as Thai applicants are getting reassurance. Thai students planning to study in the U.S. can relax after the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok confirmed student visa interviews will proceed as usual, despite panic sparked by a leaked Trump-era memo. The memo instructed embassies to halt new student visa appointments amid plans for expanding social media vetting. While the policy caused concern globally, Thai officials reassured applicants that no scheduled interviews have been canceled. Students can continue applying with honesty emphasized. The policy stems from Donald Trump's previous crackdown on immigration and scrutiny of foreign students, which critics say harm U.S. academic influence. So, look, universities, I think we can all admit they're a ripoff. All right, there's a lot of money that is poured into it from the public, from students themselves, putting tons of money into it. A lot of that money comes from the foreign students themselves. I do believe that there needs to be some reform of American academics at that graduate and secondary level. But that being said, it is also one of the great powers and influences of America to be able to attract, it's like a negative brain drain, right? Like the American university systems has brought in and sucked in a lot of the mega talent from around the world. You look, people like Elon Musk, things like that. If you want to say that. Yeah, I think that's one of the major strengths is that there's been an attraction of people from around the world to come to America, and then we get to keep that talent in a lot of ways. So, this is something that needs to be figured out. Obviously, this weird policy reversal, the nickname Trump has gotten on Wall Street lately is Taco. Trump always chickens out. That is something that people might say about this particular flip-flop on the policy. At the same time, look, I think having the best and brightest talent from around the world coming into America, particularly people in Thailand that want to study abroad, kudos, good thing. But yeah, I'm curious your thoughts on this, everybody. What should the policies be? If you are a Thai student, is this something that you think, are you scared about the policy reversals and things like that? Or does this encourage you to continue your application process? We get a lot of international Thai students watching the show, so tell me your thoughts in the comments, please. But speaking about policy reversals, guess what? America's not the only people that are doing that, as Thailand, very famous for its visa policy reversals. Apparently, Thailand's retirement visas are going to tighten as wealthy expats are favored. Surprise, surprise there. Thailand is shifting its retirement visa strategy to favor wealthy foreigners, introducing stricter health insurance rules and promoting the new long-term resident or LTR visa requiring high income and assets. This pivot risks alienating middle-income retirees who have long supported local economies and communities. Rising complexity and costs are prompting many to consider alternatives like the Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam, which offer more accessible visa options. While the policy may boost short-term revenue, critics warn it threatens Thailand's reputation as an inclusive retirement haven and may erode the vibrant expat communities that helped define it. A lot of our middle-income expat viewers, how are you going to take this? I mean, many of you are probably grandfathered in, like you've got that, but I know tons of people who have actually planned, fans of the show that have been like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm moving to Thailand. Why wouldn't you want to? It's a beautiful place, beautiful people, beautiful culture. It's going to be less accessible now and favoring the wealthy. Surprise, surprise. Like many aspects of Thai policy, maybe this is a flip-flop as well. Maybe this will be something that we won't hear too much about in the future, but it's certainly going to shake up people's perspective on things. And with countries so close and so beautiful that may make it easier, it could end up being a more attractive option for people. So let me know your thoughts, people. Anybody thinking about long-term visas here? How's this affecting your decision-making? All right. Before we get into the ASEAN Now section of the news, we will hear a word from our sponsor. Tan, go for it. All right. A little sleep in my... Thank you, Faswas. Don't you like short and sweet commercials, right? Sometimes you're watching YouTube and you get those long 5-minute, let me tell you how great NordVPN is. Screw that. We're fast. We're to the point. Fast with a Z. Fazwaz, everybody. If you got real estate needs, go and check them out. They're the biggest real estate portal in Thailand. Buy, rent, sell. You're good to go. All right. Now, we're done with Thailand. We are on to our ASEAN Now section. By the way, I do want to remind everybody that look, we do the ASEAN Now stories here on the Thaiger channel for YouTube, but we have ASEAN Now pages for TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's where they're huge. There's tons of more content about the greater region. So if you are curious to hear more about the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, you can check out those pages on social media and get a lot more Thaiger content. ASEAN Now content, excuse me. All right, now, our first story, this is a bit of an eye-opener. We're heading to Vietnam, where the country is now set to end its two-child policy amid its population aging concerns. Who knew? Vietnam's two-child policy, well, it's being ended as its decades-old two-child policy in response to falling birth rates and a rapidly aging population. With fertility dropping from 2.11 in 2021 to just 1.91 in 2024, officials fear economic strain as the workforce shrinks and elderly care costs rise. The policy shift aims to encourage larger families, especially in urban areas like Ho Chi Minh City, where birth rates are particularly low. Authorities are also cracking down on sex-selective practices amid gender imbalance. Yucky. Vietnam joins other Asian nations in battling demographic decline, hoping to sustain long-term economic growth. Look, all right, we've seen these limitations, these one-child policies, two-child policies in places like China. They've gone the way of the dinosaurs. They're going out because of the falling birth rates. The problem is the culture has already changed. The parents have already, all right, we get one child, we get two children. We're going to put all of our resources into them. And and then we're good. We're good to go. And now people can't even imagine having bigger families than that. So, man, I've been saying it for a while. It used to be, these days, it feels like, all right, your pets are your children, and children are like luxury goods, like, a sports car or something like that. So that's how many people are feeling in the West, now in the Far East as well. Is it too little too late? I'm inclined to believe so. What does this mean for the aging populations of Asia? Will they be able to sustain? Curious to find out. All right, on to our next story. We got a crossover story. This is between Singapore and Thailand. A Singaporean businessman was caught at a Thai airport in a VAT evasion case. A 71-year-old Singaporean businessman, Liu David, was arrested at Suvarnabhumi Airport on June 4th while trying to flee to Singapore, facing charges of evading 5 million baht in VAT. As a former authorized director of Essentia Monitoring Services Thailand, Liu allegedly failed to report business revenue between July and October 2015, causing significant state losses. Despite summonses, Liu did not respond, prompting an arrest warrant. He denied the charges but confirmed his previous role. Authorities have now transferred him to the Economic Crime Division for further investigation and legal action. Fascinating that this happened between a small window, July and October of a decade ago. The fact that this is almost 10 years after the fact and he's getting arrested is very interesting to me. Apparently, what is the statute of limitations on financial crimes? Not long enough, apparently, as this guy has now been arrested and being investigated and charged at 71 years old. Goes to show you, man, crime doesn't pay. No matter how long you think you get away with it, the authorities are still on your tail, man. And the paper trail, particularly with financial crimes, there's always a paper trail. So, good luck battling the Thai economic system. I also have to wonder, we talk about there's violent crimes in Thailand all the time. We got drug smuggling, white-collar crimes. They exist too. I'm curious, what is prison like for white-collar criminals? Does anybody know? Dan, you don't know? You haven't committed any white-collar crimes lately? Okay. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's like a club fed for Singaporean businessmen who are very rich. I guess we'll find out. I still wouldn't want to risk it here in Thailand. All right, two more stories. Next one. All right, we've been talking a lot about the Cambodian and Thailand conflict. In fact, it's turned deadly. Well, apparently the two countries are set to hold border demarcation talks in Phnom Penh in just about 10 days. Cambodia will host the Cambodia-Thailand Joint Boundary Commissioner, JBC, a meeting on June 14th this year in Phnom Penh, aiming to advance land boundary demarcation talks. The decision follows bilateral discussions in Tokyo, where both countries reaffirmed their commitment to the 2000 Modus of Understanding, MOU, and agreed to accelerate technical efforts, especially in areas with recent tensions. Cambodia's foreign ministry stressed the importance of peaceful resolution, emphasizing border cooperation for mutual development and regional stability. Thailand has been officially notified, and the meeting underscores a shared goal of transforming border zones into areas of peace and partnership. Look, okay, the diplomacy's on. Cambodia has escalated this to international criminal courts. Tokyo acting as a neutral territory for these negotiations. I think that's good to see other countries in Asia stepping up and trying to help facilitate this diplomacy. Especially, this is the kind of thing where you would see like, a more meddling country like America or China stepping in and trying to wield influence. It's very interesting to see Japan taking a bit of a lead here and trying to get everybody to get along. I think this is good news, relying on diplomacy. Look, a lot of these people, the soldiers on the borders over here, we're talking draftees, we're talking conscripts, we're not talking, super experienced military people. And when they get into conflict, shots are fired, people have died, or at least one person. And I think that has been the wake-up call that has said, all right, look, we've let this go on long enough. We need to actually figure out what the hell are we going to do so we can maintain peace between our two countries. Very mature. Love to see it. I think this could serve as an example for other countries around the world, wink, wink, that have problems on their borders with neighbors that seem to have been going on for years. Maybe take a note out of Southeast Asia, where diplomacy seems to be having more success. We're off to the Philippines, where the Philippines House has now approved a 200 peso daily minimum wage hike after a final reading. The Philippines House of Representatives has approved House Bill number 11376, granting a 200 peso daily minimum wage hike for private sector workers on final reading. The raise applies to all minimum wage earners, including contractual and agricultural workers, though some small businesses and disaster-affected firms may apply for exemptions. The regional wage boards can still implement additional increases. The bill prohibits reducing existing benefits and imposes fines of 100,000 to 500,000 pesos or imprisonment for violations. This version surpasses the Senate's approved 100 peso hike, marking a significant move towards raising worker pay amid ongoing economic challenges. Good news for workers in the Philippines. You're getting more money. So, of course, the question is, how does this affect the businesses that will have to pay higher wages? I think with a country that has such low wages as the Philippines, this is going to be good news. More money in the pockets of workers means more money they can spend going out to eat, childcare, healthcare, all that stuff, and it circulates the economy. I think it's a good thing. So congratulations, Philippines. Hopefully you're making a little bit more money. All right, guys, that'll do it for Good Morning Thailand. Thank you for joining us. You can always go to thetiger.com for more news updates throughout the day. We're constantly posting new articles, and you can stay informed on all things Thailand. Don't forget to go to ASEANnow.com as well, so you can join in on the conversation. It is Thailand's largest forum, expat forum, and it is rapidly growing around the ASEAN region. Don't forget, you can also follow all of those channels, ASEAN Now and the Thaiger, on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you get your social media fix throughout the day. You can follow us there and get more content that you wouldn't see here normally on the YouTube channel. Don't forget also, subscribe to the channel here and maybe click that join button. You become a member of our YouTube channel, and you get all sorts of benefits like coming in and checking out the studio, hanging out with us. You get merch when you come to visit, and of course, I'll take you out for a drink after the show as well. All right, let me dive into the comments now and see what our viewers have to say.
If you like that story, please like and subscribe. And for more Thailand news, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at The Thaiger, or you can go to thetiger.com and join the conversation.